Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Dr. George Wong. As Yabogi just told me, George doesn't need an introduction. He's a doyen in plastic surgery, besides being the unofficial chairman of ME Parliament in the Doctors Lounge and Dining Room. Although the position might have been used by ACT or George is a colorful man, a man of many talents. He's a writer. He has written and published a book on plastic surgery and has been a frequent contributor to the forum page of Straits Times for many, many years. His views on a multitude of topics are not always conventional, but reflect insightful wisdom. He has a web page on the internet for those who are interested. Just search through Google and type in George Wong, 2 separate words, and confine the search to Singapore. There you get a glimpse of his thinking that goes beyond conventionalism. George is also an accomplished dancer, as you know, and an excellent singer. And he and his dear wife, Jennifer, are teachers to many of our colleagues in ballroom dancing. Now, one remarkable talent of George is his mastery of hypnotism. I can assure you that it is no humbug, and it's not just play. He once hypnotized himself to undergo a hernia operation without anesthesia. Now, how did a plastic surgeon become interested in hypnotism? In older days, skin pedicles, skin flaps, tube pedicles were the mainstay of reconstructive surgery. But patients had to suffer the discomfort of maintaining a fixed position for several weeks. When George was receiving his training in plastic surgery in Australia, he saw a hypnotist who helped patients maintain these positions easily and comfortably by post-hypnotic suggestion. And that's how he became interested in hypnotism. He was impressed and he learned from the hypnotist. After he came back to Singapore, he joined Dr. Chong Tong Man's Society of Hypnotism and became his secretary. Dr. Chong Tong Man, the late Dr. Chong Tong Man, was a general practitioner and a leading hypnotist in Singapore. And George took an active part in courses and seminars related to hypnotism. And from there, he became interested in the mystery of the mind and the phenomenon of trance. He enrolled in various courses in meditation, Buddhist meditation, transcendental meditation, yoga meditation, and several others. And he has acquired a deep understanding of the physiological basis common to all these practices. So today he's going to share his wisdom with us. He's going to talk about stress, tranquility, longevity, effects, and fantasy. Now he's going to be an interesting lecture, and you should happen to fall asleep. It's because you have come under the spell of his hypnotism. It's not because the lecture is loud.
Thank you for a very kind introduction. I've done the right thing by asking Su Che, surgeons are nice guys. The alternative is like a chest physician, which I wouldn't dare to come. Now I've come to get the stress, tranquility, and longevity. Stress is obvious. Tranquility, actually, you have to use meditation and hypnosis to give you tranquility. longevity is not just living to 150 years old, it's about good health as well. And I haven't forgotten what Jennifer told me. I have one request to make. For those people who have handphones, please switch it off. And if you have to have a conversation, we'll be very grateful if you have it outside. Is that a reasonable request? Okay. Okay. Now, my talk today is a schizophrenic talk because parts of it is serious, parts of it is a bit crazy. When it's serious, as Suche says, some of you will fallen asleep. So the crazy part, I like the rest of you laugh loudly to wake them up. I'm a bit crazy myself. See, that was me when I was crazy in my young days. And now old and serious. Yeah, you're quite right. I was very happy here because I wasn't dancing with my wife. That reminds me of Confucius say about marriage. Are there any bachelors here? Oh, my friend is hiding there. Confucius says, do you have all these good do-gooders, those ladies going, yeah, please get married early. You men not married, your life not complete. So Confucius says, before marriage, not complete. After marriage, you finish. Actually, Confucius didn't say it, I made it up. So, growing old is not such a simple thing. What I'm going to talk today, this is a very vague and confused subject. So I am going to take you step by step in a systematic way to read out the facts from the fantasy. Growing old is not a simple thing. Look at this. Not just growing old, ladies want to look like that when they come to this stage. So, not just growing old, but the quality of life is important. Not just the ladies, gentlemen is the same. Tell me, who would you like to be? Right? The answer is obvious. Right? You want to be this and that. But some of us are like this, but we think we look like that. See, we won't accept the fact. See, that's what happens. We still have wishful thinking. Can you all read the slide? You can see, right? Okay. Right. But by the time you reach middle age, you think things are not the same. Truth will dawn on you. Right. Can you read the bottom? Not tonight, dear. Didn't you get my email? Some of you can't read that, okay. But when you get older like me, it's become even more obvious. You can't read, it says here. I can feel you're very stiff, but in the wrong place. So when you grow old, what happens to us? There are changes externally and changes internally. Last year at the Mount Elizabeth Anti-Aging Seminar, I gave a talk on the external changes and the anti-aging. Today, I'm going to concentrate on the mind. Now, before I talk about longevity, there are some terms we must be clear of. Two particular terms: life expectancy and lifespan. Life expectancy is a statistical figure, is an average. It's got nothing to do with your lifespan. Actually, it's the index of the health of the community. If you in a third world country, your life expectancy is very low because infant mortality may be very high. So, what I'm talking today is the lifespan. It's the individual's lifespan. Actually, we are growing older. There's no doubt about that. It is estimated that in a country with a life expectancy, say 75, 1 in 10,000 will live to 100. So quite commonly now, in America or even in Singapore, you see people living to 100, whereas 50 years ago is very unusual. So I show you this, he lived to exactly 100. He's Bob Hope, for those who don't know who he is, he's a well-known comedian. And I'll come to that later. Actually, laughing is very good for health. So have we come to the limit? I don't think so. The reason is, gerontologists have estimated and studied that they think the lifespan for human being should be about 120. So that's not too far-fetched because there are many isolated communities, some in Russia, Europe, I think Japan, Okinawa, where people, quite a lot of them, living at the age of 120 or so. So probably around 120 is a reasonable guess. But we do not know. What we do know, as I said, I'm just going on facts. What we do know is people are living longer. So that is a fact. So let me take an analogy. We're talking about physical limits of the body. So you look at the Athens Olympic Games. Records get being broken all the time. People running faster and faster, right? Jumping higher. So physical performance is improving all the time. So why is that? The reason is very simple, because our knowledge has increased over the years. We have a better understanding of our body and a better application of the use of our body. But today, I'm not talking about the physical part, I'm more concerned with the fact how the mental effect on the physical performance. Now, let me tell you this story because as I said, I believe in facts. There was a long-distance runner, record holder called John Landy. I don't know if you know him. He's a record holder for the 100 mile, 1 mile. In the old days, this was a long time ago, distance was measured in miles, not kilometers. So he was the record holder for the 1 mile distance. The time he took was about 4 minutes, 1 second. So he tried to beat his record. In fact, he beat his own record several times. And for a period, I think over 7 or 8 years, he'd been trying to break his record. But he could never run it below 4 minutes. And all the experts say, this is a physical impossibility. No human being can run 1 mile in less than 4 minutes. It's just a physical impossibility. So don't keep trying, you never get it. But there was a medical student by the name of Roger Bannister. Being young medical students, they think they know everything. So he didn't believe that. He said, nonsense. I'm going to try and run this mile below 1 minute, 4 minutes. And he did it. And that was record breaking. In fact, he was knighted after that. It was like breaking the sound barrier. So it goes to show how the mind affects the body. It's self-fulfilling. If you believe you can't do it, you can't do it. And when you believe you can do it, he did it. And that's not all. And to prove the fact further, John Landy, who couldn't do it for the last 5 years to run below 4 minutes, a few weeks after Roger Bannister broke the barrier, John Landy now, he able to break the 4-minute mark and ran even faster than Roger Bannister and kept his record again. So it just goes to show how important the mind has over the body. That's all I want to convey to you. So this is a fact, right? Not fantasy. So, what about the effect of the mind on diseases? Well, you're all doctors, experts, you all know about causes of death. If you look at the people who die, those who don't live to 100, they die of heart attacks, strokes, cancer, you all know that. But what I'm going to highlight or bring up to your attention is the mind. The mind and the body, what I want to stress, is one complete whole. You cannot separate one from the other. Even you have heart attacks, strokes, cancer, the mind has an influence. The cardiologist will tell you the risk of heart attacks is related to type A, type B personalities. Right? That's definitely connected to the mind. And if you watch the Hong Kong serials, You see those the son who lost the family fortune come back to see his father, ask for more money, and the father say, "Aiya, 衰仔啊，激死我咯!" And then he will collapse and die on the spot. Right? So there is no doubt, there is a definite connection between the mind and body. I wouldn't keep on going on and on because even Longevity recently talked about strokes, hypertension related, stress related, all that sort of thing. So I'm using an analogy with astronomy here. The mind is a black hole because I was reading Stephen Hawking's book. Astronomy, they have a tremendous amount of facts. They backed up all the stars in the universe. They know lots and lots of things. But there are lots of gaps which they still do not know, like the black hole or the Big Bang. Similarly, we in medicine know a lot of things. We have even mapped out the genome. No? The facts are all sort of limitless. But there are a lot of things we don't know. We also have a Big Bang. After the Big Bang, this is what we get. After the Big Bang. Now, if you think about it carefully, from one cell, it develops into eyes, nose, hearts, kidneys, everything. Right? So, actually, we still do not know why it does that. And that is why we are going so much into stem cell research. Stem cell research is nothing more than trying to understand how one cell develops into heart, develops into kidneys, and so on. So there is still a big gap in our knowledge. But I'm talking about facts. What do we know? We know this. The body is self-regulating and self-repairing. The surgeons can stitch up the wound, but the healing is done by the patient. And it's the most amazing thing. When I'm a plastic surgeon, the most amazing thing is the patient knows when to heal the wound, and more important to us, when to stop. Because if it doesn't stop, I end up with a huge keloid in the wound. So this is quite amazing, this self-regulating and self-repairing phenomenon of the human body. And these are facts. Facts. So I'm trying to now to relate how the mind has an influence on the self-regulating and self-repairing part of the body. Now what does the body need? Give it a chance, because it needs energy for repair. Repair, activity, needs energy. And you all know this. If you are sick, what's the first thing your body tells you? Go and rest. Right? Because you need energy for repair. So the mind, if you have mental tranquility, you can use and mobilize that energy for repair. And that's how I believe the mind helps in giving you a healthy body. Now, mind, body, repair, what's the connection? Here I've done a diagram. Stress acts on the mind acts on all these. Here I've done a diagram. Stress acts on the mind acts on all these bodily actions, but the mind can slow this down and direct the energy for repair. So I want to stress once more the close connection between the mind and the body. Look at this picture. You look at her face, you know she's very relaxed and calm, because the mind and body is all one. If your body is relaxed, your face is relaxed. Your mind and face relaxed, your body is relaxed. Frank Sinatra used to sing a song and say, "When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you." Yeah. So it's a wonderful thing. So, if you don't believe me, you try it. Just smile and laugh and see how you feel inside. Right? You feel good, right? Smile, yes, it's good for you. Right? Right. You can't get angry with me when you're laughing, right? So even I talk nonsense, you can't get angry. Alright. So it's true, because now the people are realizing that they're going all over the world and laugh to de-stress themselves. So if laughter is good for you, what is bad for you? Stress. It's the opposite. Now, how does stress act on the body? We know it acts on the brain here, and it acts on the various systems. You all are doctors, only the layman I have to explain. It works on the immune system, it works on the autonomic nervous system, it works on the endocrine system, and all this gives rise to psychosomatic diseases, whole list of them, no need for me to tell you. And the important thing is, when there's over-response, you give rise to disease. This is a normal reaction, fight and fight phenomenon. So, what is stress? A picture is worth 1,000 words. This is stress. Our ancestors need this. That is stress. But we don't get this kind of stress. No lions around Singapore, although it's a lion city. But we have sharks. That is stress, right? So, anything that threatens your survival is stress. It comes in many different forms. I'll give you some examples. Mount Elizabeth. See, this is stress. So you've got a lose-lose situation. You don't have to be doctors. Any job at work, when you cannot cope, is stress. Even at home, my wife, she hates cooking. That is stress. For me, this is stress. So, at work, at home, what about leisure time in the weekend? What about the golf course? Right. My friend Francis here goes to play tennis. So there's stress everywhere. Okay? Everywhere. So why is stress bad for you? The trouble is we don't know how to manage the stress. That is what I'm talking to you today. You must know how to manage the stress. Because stress goes round and round. It's very hard to get rid of them unless you know how it keeps circulating round and round inside you. And not only it goes round and round like a merry-go-round, it increases and it builds up more and more. And when you build up, you cannot fight, you cannot flight, keep inside, and all choked up, you kicks in, all choked up inside. Right? So, the stock market crash, you cannot fight, cannot fly, this is the result. Even at home, you cannot fight, cannot fly, that's what you get. So what happens when you cannot fly and cannot fight, right? It's all choked up inside, kicks in. Not only kicks in, you repress it all, you tao tia. See, this is what you get. All repressed inside, all choked up inside. Or if you're aggressive, you can scold the nurses like some surgeons do. So, who are the people who are like this? Are you and I? Are we under stress? Like this? So as I said, I promise you facts. So as you doctors, you all want to know facts. So you want to know what are the signs and symptoms of people under stress. So here are all the signs and symptoms. You worry over the slightest thing. That's one of the symptoms. The psychiatrists call this free-floating anxiety. Right? Chinese got a saying, 杞人忧天, afraid the sky will fall down. Hey, who you? Then you simply explode with the slightest provocation. Your wife say, oh, he's a difficult man to live with. Yeah? He come home and ask her for more household money, and then he explode and scold me. You know? Or even on the road rage is all due to stress. You know, some support Datsun overtake you and zoom in music. But the most important of all is you cannot switch off. You are unable to relax, unable to sleep. These are pathognomonic causing of stress. Okay? So as I said, no one facts. After signs and symptoms, what's the next category? This was the remedy, what's the treatment? The brain cannot switch off. See, that's why you overreact to very trivial. What normally is a trivial situation, you explode. It is an what do you call it?
Inappropriate.
Inappropriate, thank you. I'm under stress up here, sorry. Now what's the solution? Well, the obvious thing is reduce the input, right? Simple, isn't it? Reduce the input. But 600 years ago, you can do that. Buddha left his wife and meditated under the tree. But now I can do that, you can do that. But now, we have to, now, I'm telling you what to do. Work on the brain, work on this part, reduce the activity, and create tranquility. That's what you should do. Now, what does tranquility mean? Tranquility, the noun of tranquility is a trance. Okay, trance. Trance is a state. Now, this is a bad word. Not bad like the four-letter word. Bad in the sense that it's got a bad connotation. If I say you're in a trance, people think of Taipusam, or the people with sticking needles in the body, or the temple medium, monkey god, then going to the soul, that kind of thing. That's what your impression of a trance. Okay? So that is a wrong impression. I'm going to explain to you what a trance in a scientific way. Now, this represents mental activity. This mental activity means reduce from this to this, less. If I superimpose this is very scientific. Above this line, you're fully awake. Below this line, you're fully asleep. And in between, you're in a state of trance. In fact, that's how the word came about. You're in this transition between fully awake and asleep. This is the state of trance. Here you're in a light trance, the mental activity is still quite a lot. Here you're in a deep trance, very little activity, and here you are completely asleep. Now this is not figment of the imagination, this is based on facts. If you take an EEG, EEG, you can see these brain waves corresponding. The beta waves are when you're fully awake, the alpha waves when you're in a light trance, theta waves when you're in a deep trance, and delta waves when you're asleep. So these are all related. It's a neurophysiological basis of trance. It's not monkey god getting into your soul. I'd like to give an analogy to make it easier to understand. All of you have cars, so a motor car engine is very easy to understand. When you are fully alert, you are at 6,000 RPM. So imagine if you're 6,000 RPM all day, all night, your car engine won't last very long. So every now and again, you should let it idle at 600 instead. So 600 is when you're in a trance. When you're completely asleep, the engine is off. So that's a simple analogy for you to understand. So having talked about the physiology and the scientific aspect of trance, what is a trance? Let me give you an example. I'd like you to look at this picture. I'd like you to remember that face. That is a typical appearance of a person in trance. Because I'm a hypnotist, look at the face, I know this person is in trance. So take my word for it. I want you to recognize that and you see this face is in trance. What is it? The eyes are closed, the face is relaxed, and the body is relaxed, but it is controlled relaxation because she can keep the body upright in the lotus position. if her muscle is completely relaxed, she will be lying flat on the floor, right? And not asleep, right? Notice these phenomena of a person in light trance. Now, what are other examples? Trance can be spontaneous or induced. So what are the spontaneous examples of the trance? He's in a trance. Look at his face. He's in a trance, but he's playing the violin. Okay? Look at her face. She's in a trance, but she's dancing. But these are very light trance. Okay? Very light trance. If your mobile phone rings, you wake up and scold you. Very light trance. And they're transient but light. So you can get very light trance in a lot of activities. But someone say, well, my concept of trance is you must be sit like a Buddha and meditate. No, it's not true. A lot of trance are actually in motion. It's a mental state, not a physical state. You don't have to be like that. You can be walking. This is walking meditation. And in fact, there are some schools in the US, there's a school called maze walking meditation. Maze doesn't mean you eat the jargon maze. It's a maze in a garden where you go in, you don't know the way out. So they walk round and round, can't get out, they fall into a trance. So actually, people who do Qigong, Tai Chi, like that, you know, those are all actually light trances. And that's where they get the benefit. Now, what is a deep trance? The best example I can give you for a deep trance is hypnosis. Well, that's censored by Mauni. Actually, that's Bill Gates' folly. The Windows XP, which I use, cannot talk to this Windows 2000. So it comes out all garbled. Right? So Bill Gates is not as good as you think. The example of a deep trance is hypnosis. And you say, sleep, sleep, sleep. And look, they are asleep. Look at the face. That's a state look of a trance. But what's the difference between this trance and that lady there sitting up? They are deep trance, the muscles are completely relaxed, no muscle control. You take away the chair, she'll fall flat on the floor. And that is why we call it hypnotic sleep. It is not really sleep. They look as if they're asleep. You think about it, if they're really asleep, you switch off, how can they listen to the hypnotist commands? So a hypnotic sleep is not sleep. It's a deep, deep trance. Okay? The difference is the trance is deep. And the difference is when you're in a deep trance, you can make suggestions to the subconscious mind. You'll be surprised how you can influence the subconscious mind. That is another subject matter. And in fact, that's what been used for healing 3,000 years ago in Greece. Right? Father of medicine, Hippocrates. They don't have antibiotics, don't have surgery, but they can still heal people with sickness. It's all done by hypnotic trance and suggestions to the subconscious mind. So meditation is actually a self-induced trance. It's nothing special. Instead of hypnotists putting in a trance, the teacher teach them how to hypnotize themselves. Just like I can teach you to hypnotize yourself. It's nothing more, meditation nothing more than self-hypnosis. Now why do I say that? Some people say, well, nonsense, there are so many schools of meditation. You know, quite different. See, if you come from India, you have yoga meditation. You come from China, they say there's Taoist meditation. You come from Tibet, Thailand, you have Buddhist meditation. You come from Japan, it's Zen meditation.
but they all want at the same thing. So which is the right method? There's only one state. No matter what method you use, you are in a neurophysiological state. You're in a trance. Okay? It's a biological experience, biological phenomenon experienced by a human being. Even animals can be hypnotized. You know, during the war, when I was a child, we used to rear chickens to survive. And we used to have a game to see who can hypnotize the chicken fastest. Yeah.
Real chicken?
Yeah. What type of chicken? Maybe the best type. You know me, I only deal with the best type. So therefore, my belief is, no matter what method you use, it's no same thing. All rivers flow into the sea. It's one and the same phenomenon. It's nothing different. So you may say, my method is better than yours, but as far as I'm concerned, it is a simple physiological phenomenon. Okay? So the question also I have to settle, argue with them. They say, is it spiritual? Some people say, oh, I meditate and my spirit will float away and I will never wake up again. So what I described to you are facts. Physical facts are facts. Spiritual things are belief. They are on opposite poles, and never the twain shall meet. Yeah? Here I got EEG. Here you talk about more spiritual things. So why you want to argue? Because it doesn't matter, so long it works. Why waste time to argue who is better than who? Right? All I want to stress to you is there are phenomena, there's something that can help you, and something you can do. So since everything is the same, I must show you my way. Another song. So what are the requirements to get into a trance? First, you need a quiet environment. You need visual concentration. You need a repetitive stimuli. You need slow, regular breathing. And you need muscular relaxation. If you put all these 5 things together, I guarantee you enter a trance. So what is the benefit of getting into a trance? Your brain activity is slowed down, as I showed you, in theta waves. And what's more important, your body function also slows down. Your respiration slows down, your blood pressure drops, your pulse rate slows down, and all this is censored again. What I'm trying to say, at the same time, if you're in a deep hypnotic trance, I can give you very good, helpful suggestions to your subconscious mind to build up your body activity. So my aim is to develop, while you're in a trance, to suggest to your subconscious mind to give you a harmonious physical activity to improve your health and longer lifespan. Now, to go into detail, what I mean by a quiet environment. This is a quiet environment, it's quite obvious. Recently I saw on a TV program from India, it says, oh, our yogis meditate in the mountain, meditate in the sea, meditate in different places. So come and join them, for 2 weeks, all your stress will be gone. But that's good for the tourist promotion board, but it doesn't really help you. Going there for 2 weeks doesn't really make any difference to you. So you don't need to go. All you need in Singapore is a quiet room. Make sure you have a quiet room. Turn down the lights, draw the curtains, switch off your mobile phone. And if you have young children, make sure you lock the door. They always come in the wrong time. So that's the quiet environment you need. So, what about visual concentration? What you need is a very focused concentration. In hypnosis, we use crystal or object like that. Or in meditation, it can be a virtual object. So the yogis will concentrate on the spot on the forehead, where they put the spot. It doesn't matter so long as you concentrate, you focus on the spot. The Buddhists call it one-pointedness. You look at a candle or something like that. It doesn't matter so long you can spot, focus your attention on the spot. Usually, when I tell my students to do self-hypnosis, focus on something on the ceiling or a spot on the wall or something like that. What you need is repetitive breathing. Okay, notice that you sleep, sleep, sleep. I'll say that a few more words, all of you will sleep.
Right.
For those who do transcendental meditation, like, you see this doesn't matter what it is, so long as it's repetitive. Okay? It's all the same thing. So long your mind get a repetitive. I'll give you an example. It's repetitive similar. It can be auditory or it can be visual. I'll tell you a story. When my children were young, like a good father, I take them for long drives, to see the world. And then the car goes, and they're all fast asleep. I say, hey, look at the beautiful mountain. Oh, look at the sheep. Look at the lake. Yes, sir. Very nice. So now I know they were not asleep. They were in a deep hypnotic sleep. Yes, that's the truth. And I tell you also visual. I tell you something. My wife, when she goes home, turns on the TV and watches the TV. But after a few minutes, she wants to sleep. So being a miser, I want to save electricity. Turn off the TV. Next thing that happens, she, what are you doing? I'm watching TV. Why are you switching on? So I don't want to get stressed. Please switch it on. And leave it on the whole night. Leave it on. I leave it on until he's gone. Mari kita. And the screen goes off. And what happens? She up. What time is it? So she's not asleep. She was in a deep hypnotic trance. And the TV, with all the 50 cycles per second, is a very good trance inducer. And that is why people pay a lot of money to advertise on TV. Yes. And while you're half asleep, they say, buy Mercedes-Benz. You look at all the Benz in the car park. And you know the doctors who don't watch TV, don't you? They are the ones who buy Bentley. So, it's very fashionable now to have Q&A. Now, what are the questions? Someone asked me, I try to meditate, but I can never get settled down. My mind never settled. So I'll give you an analogy. You know when the water is turbulent, you can't press it down with your hand. It has to settle down from inside. So the mind is the same. When you sense it again. What it is that the mind has to come in from tranquility comes from within. So the harder you try, the more you fail. So don't try too hard. The secret is to try and relax and get your mind to settle without trying too hard. Then the opposite. Someone tell me, oh, when I go meditate, I fall asleep. So I said, oh, that's a very simple solution. You know how the yogis and the Buddhist monks keep awake? They contort themselves into this lotus position. If you put yourself in lotus position, you never fall asleep. Yeah, that's the truth. But the real answer is, try to do it when you're not too sleepy. Because your body, as I said, the body knows. If you need sleep, you will go to sleep. What do you meditate on? I make it simple. I do three things. 3 P's. Something that's peaceful, pleasurable, and you aim for perfection. Okay? Can be an abstract design like that. Right? Those who are more, who likes more interesting visions, also can have something like that. Doesn't matter. 3 lessons, yeah, that's coming. What do you meditate for? Some people meditate to fly into the air, like this. That depends on you, what you want to meditate for, what your aim is. Some people meditate to strengthen the third leg. So it depends what you meditate for. So this is what you should aim for. This is what you should aim for. So now I come to the RA part. Those under 18 are advised to leave the room. See, good for you. Active sex prolongs life. I probably use facts. So these are facts. See, I put BMJ, big figures. This study was published in the BMJ. They took about 900 or 1,000 people, separated in groups, studied them over 10 years, and they found the people with active sex live much longer than those who don't have sex anymore. So these are facts. See? This is not bovine excreta. And this is not only one study, it's now more and more are being confirmed. They even confirm it with rats, fruit flies. How to do that, I don't know. But it's confirmed. This part is facts. So what about the non-facts? Explanation is a fantasy. Some say because sex is good for the heart. I don't know, ask the cardiologist. Some say maybe the group, the active group, are healthier. But that's not true because it's a random selection. And all the ancient Chinese also know already, if you have a young wife or a young partner, you live longer. But my wife didn't believe me. But I have my own theory. Making love is spontaneous trance. Remember I showed you just now, you can have trance while you're doing something. So sex is actually trance. I'll tell you. Did you see this? My friend Waiki. When you undergo massage, then you go into a trance. Right? You go into you feel comfortable, relaxed.
Why do you think I'm
You
smiling
feel
all the time?
I didn't care, I put that all censored. Actually, I'm not joking, you get an erotic sensation. That's why you go into a trance. Very comfortable, you go into a trance. And you know something? That is why now Singapore government allows men to massage the ladies, because that's better than the ladies to massage the men. Now you know why. And I'm not joking. In India, there is a group of people called, they do Tantra, censored again, Tantra meditation. They believe they achieve enlightenment through sex. Yeah, it is true. There is a group, they believe and achieve enlightenment through sex. And this is my belief. Sex is nature's way to induce trance. In actual fact, not long ago, some of you remember, asked me in the doctor's lounge. He said, hey, you, meditation and all that, tell me, what do you feel when you meditate? I said, you want to know the truth? He said, yeah, of course, tell the truth. I said, when you meditate, it's like orgasm. And he said, oh, dirty old man, But don't, this is serious. And not long ago, and soon after that, you listen to this. Soon after that, there was a newspaper article where there was a Buddhist monk who passed through Singapore to teach meditation. And a reporter asked him, what is it like to be in meditation, in a trance? He said, sexual orgasm. Yeah, I'm not joking. If you don't believe me, you ask Yuche, he's the one who showed me the article. Yeah, now there are two dirty old men. So, next time, my wife said to me, not tonight dear, the headache. So I said, I know a very good sedative. So, to summarize what I believe, So don't talk yourself to being old. You're only as old as you feel. You see, think of this. When you were young, you forgot a phone number. No one ever pointed to your face and say, hey, you're getting old, you got dementia. Now you forget the phone number, they will do that to you. So don't let them talk you into it. It's self-fulfilling. Don't let your wife talk to you. Yeah, too old to this, too old to do that. Don't. It's self-fulfilling. Remember the story of the 4-minute mark? Mind controls you. If you think you can do it, you'll be able to do it. So don't be a pussycat, be a lion. So Chin Chiong Hai always cannot get away from the 3 S's. So I have to tell him. And 3 L's. And these are also not bovine excreta. All the references I put on my website. So please go and look it up there. If you go to Google and search for George Wong and Craig Singapore, you will get my website. But someone told me this week, Google have revised, they're making too much money, so they revived the search, and now they got about 100,000 George Wong and you can't find my website. So never mind, Yahoo is still here. Hey, I have put Yahoo here. I didn't know they did. So now you go to Yahoo, and search for, you must put in 5 words so that you narrow your search. George Wong's Philosophy homepage. You put it in there, and click, search the whole web. Then you will find my web page. It's about the second on the list, George Wong's website. Now, you must go to Yahoo Singapore. Don't go to Yahoo US. You must put in yahoo.com.sg. Then you can find the website. So, don't just add years to your life. That's not what I'm talking about. You must, this is just adding cake, candles to your cake. That's not what I'm talking about. This is what's important. Add life to your years. You're only as old as the girl you feel. Take that home with you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was certainly an enlightening lecture. Yes. I'm quite sure a lot of people will have questions to ask. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Dr. George Wong. As Yabogi just told me, George doesn't need